Okay, guys, so today we're playing Evolve in 2025. This was a game released back in 2014 by Turtle Rock Studios, creators of Back for Blood and Left 4 Dead. And I remember when this game was first announced, there was a lot of hype surrounding it. People were convinced that this was going to be the next big thing in gaming, and it was going to be, like, just record-shattering. It was going to be this amazing game that was going to sell millions of copies and be a huge hit, but ended up being a massive failure. One of the things most commonly attributed to that is the way that DLC and microtransactions were implemented in the game. It was monetized like a free-to-play game, even though it was a full-priced, AAA, $60 game. It was ridiculous, all the DLC they were selling. Like, you had characters that were selling for like $15. It was ridiculous. If you were around back then, you remember all the memes and the controversy surrounding all the DLC that the game had. But there were a number of other issues as well, was the balancing. Most people agreed, most people who even played the game, at the very least, would agree that the game was poorly balanced and lacked a lot of polish. So, even though it was being sold and marketed as a AAA blockbuster game, it never really felt that way if you actually played it. So, here's the deal. When it comes to this game in 2025, I wouldn't really recommend it because it's designed to be a co-op shooter, but you can't actually play online anymore. Well, you can on PC. There's private servers, but nobody is playing. I looked at the Steam charts, and there's like 12 active players right now, something like that. So it's not worth trying to get the whole private stuff set up and downloading the custom clients and everything you need to do. It's basically like, it's a waste of time, if we're going to be honest. Now, on Xbox and PlayStation, you can play offline. You cannot get all the achievements, though, because a lot of the achievements are locked to be actually being able to play with other people and playing online. So if you're like a 100% completionist, if that's a huge thing for you, then you're not going to really have much interest in this game. I mean, it has a campaign, it has a story, and so playing it offline isn't that bad. I guess it can be sort of fun. The games like these are really meant to be played online with other people, and you can't really do that. I mean, it's crazy because the game came out in 2014, and already by 2018, all the servers were shut down. And it was kind of messed up the way they handled it because they said, hey, when we shut down the servers, we'll still have it so you can do, like, peer-to-peer matches. So the servers are still technically online, we're just not supporting them anymore. But then they went back on that and just shut it down completely and made it completely unplayable online, which is fucked up. So, yeah, they could have handled this a lot better, Turtle Rock, and especially 2K, the publisher. There was just so many bad decisions that prevented this game from being as successful as it could have been. And whatever my opinion is on Back for Blood, that game came out, I think it was 5 years later. It was 2019, it was 2021. So it was a number of years after Evolve came out and after it got shut down and everything. Turtle Rock, I feel, learned a lot of important lessons. And Back for Blood ended up a lot better, as much as that game kind of sort of flopped, but not really. It did sell fairly well. And Evolve did too, initially. It got positive reviews when it released, but it just wasn't able to maintain the player base because it was meant to really be like kind of a live service game akin to Destiny and other games that were out at the time. They wanted this game to last for years, but it barely lasted months, never mind years. And they tried to revive it a couple years later with their Stage 2 update, which completely overhauled the game, changed the balancing, changed a lot of things, and actually made it free to play. But just because a game is now free to play doesn't mean it's actually going to attract more players and be a success overnight. Remember Battleborn? And, that game being free to play did absolutely nothing because no one cared. And that's what it was as well with Evolve when they went free to play. So, it's a shame because I think there are a lot of cool concepts that they implemented in this game. I like the asymmetrical gameplay, which I can't really judge it properly because I didn't play it back then. I'm only playing it now that it's offline and not online, so it really is tough for me to make an actual, analysis on the game. But they did seem to go for a lot of interesting and unique gameplay elements that ultimately the execution wasn't great, but the ideas were, if that makes any sense. And this game, it's a shame what happened to it, but there's a lot of games that just fail, and that's just the gaming industry. It's tough to be successful, and they certainly didn't help themselves in a lot of things that they did. But between the progression system and all the DLC they were selling, the game was clearly made to be a cash grab and a money printing machine, rather than an actually like genuinely good game that's fun and that you want to play. It's just a nickel and dime, and I think that was the main thing that drew people away. Because a game like Grand Theft Auto can get away with that, but a new IP like Evolve, it didn't work. So, yeah, that's Evolve. 10 years later, actually. I said 2014. It was 2015 when it released. And it feels like a lifetime ago, but I also feel like I remember the game when it was first announced, and it feels like yesterday. So it's weird. But, yeah, I mean, it's, objectively speaking, not really worth playing unless you love the game so much back in the day and you want to revisit it. But it's offline, so it doesn't really have nearly as much excitement and enjoyment because of that. So, 10 years later, it's meh. There's plenty of other games for you to play that are a lot better and actually have people that you can play online with and actually have servers that work. So,